Eluding out of a tackle is Aaron Vaughns out to the outside, has room across midfield, and he's pummeled out of bounds in enemy territory. On 2nd down and 10, make it a gain of 9 for the backup Aaron Vaughns. He's been the second most reliable running back for Mount SAC. 48 rushes for 3 touchdowns out of Charter Oak High School. Aaron Vaughns, just a freshman, near a Mountie first down.
2 straight successful plays by the Mounties, I would say, in a game that's been sluggish. Now it's finally in rhythm.
Omar Stolber dots the I. Mounties operate with a 2-wide set. Whistles blow before the snap. Was it a timeout call by the Tigers? Yes, it is. Riverside burns their second charge timeout with 11:41 remaining in the opening half, and this is critical. 3rd down and short for the Mounties at the opposing 46, and the Tigers can ill afford to trail early here in the opening half, Dan.
Tom Kraft is going to try to design some type of defensive scheme that's going to hold the Mounties to 1 yard. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mounties even go for it on 4th down, so I kind of question the timeout for Tom Kraft right there.
Tom Kraft has been the most winning coach in junior college history here over the last 10 years. A man who's won 89% of his games, 50-6 lifetime in 5 seasons with the Tigers, but has yet to win that oh-so-elusive Southern California championship title. Yet he's looking for his very first in his 5th year out of San Diego State. 3rd down and 1 for the Mounties. Bob Jastrab has won with regularity in the junior college ranks. He's 16-4 in the postseason, and as you can tell, his defense ups the ante in the playoffs. 3rd down and 1 following Mounties going for it here. Mount SAC on their longest drive today. 2 tight end set will hand off to Tolbert, and he's got a first down, still moving across the 40, and he's bumped to the turf by Cortland Ford. After, on a 3rd and 1, the run gains 12, moved the chains for the Mount SAC Mounties.
If the Mounties end up scoring in this possession, what a sigh of relief it would be for the Mounties. Against Riverside, in a game that's still 0-0 in the second quarter, I would feel great if I were to get the score against RCC.
Offset I, a play action. Allo going to the end zone. Incomplete as Christopher Gilchrist was running loose. 1-on-1 against Ray Ford. Now make it a 2nd and 10. Mounties with 3 first downs on this drive matches their exact production of 3 first downs on their other 5 drives of the opening half. This is their best possession of the game here thus far.
I guess Justin Allo is telling us it's better to overthrow than underthrow your receiver. It's like the 3rd time he's overthrown a wide open receiver deep.
Well, these Tigers are clinging to what has been an injury-riddled season for the Tigers. There'll be a 5-yard false start by the Mounties. They're not playing with their best cornerback, Trayshawn Broughton, I believe their best defensive player. And the sophomore Broughton with 6 picks this season, 3 of which did come against these same Mounties, and also are dealing with a hobbled Denzel Foster offensively.
Broughton is the Oregon State commit, a guy who's been making play after play in that secondary for the Tigers, and he will be missed tonight.
Pistol set for the Mounties on a first down or make it 2nd and 5. Whistles blow and a timeout by, it looks to be the Mounties here.
What a chess match going on. Both coaches trying to figure each other out. What's the game plan you're trying to create is what each coach is saying to each other. But it's going to come down to who executes the best. Who's the team that plays cleaner and isn't going to turn over the ball, I would say, will be the winner at the end of the night.
I knew these defenses were great, Dan, but are you surprised like I am that we are still scoreless with 11:19 to go, given we have played 20 minutes of football, 10 different offensive drives, and both teams have yet to even reach the red zone, let alone put a single point on the scoreboard?
Here's what we do know. We talked about it all week. We knew this was going to be a low-scoring game, but not a scoreless game. Still 11-19 in the second quarter. Let's see if Mount SAC can amount to something here.
What's amazing is that the Tigers are holding their own without their starting cornerback, Trayshawn Broughton. As into the game is Cortland Fort, the sophomore out of Fontana High School. He's 1-on-1 against Christopher Gilchrist, who's been shut out today. Allo will keep on a 2nd and 5 and run his way for near a Mountie first down. A.J. Hodgkins, off of a near horse collar, rallies him down to the turf. Hodgkins had 13 tackles last time against these Mounties. The leading tackler for the Tigers brings him down again, 3rd and short.
Hard hits are going to come in bunches tonight.
Like last time.
Yeah, just like last time. RCC's always willing to give up their body to get a little bit more extra physical right there. Justin Allo twisted up by the tackle there.
2 tight ends set. Tolbert in the single back. He'll get the call. Toss play to the 25 and reaches his way for the 4th Mountie first down on this drive. The longest Mount SAC drive, in fact, the longest by any team. It will put the Mounties for the first time today into the red zone. Ball sits at the Riverside 20-yard line. Tolbert for a 5-yard pickup.
Tolbert is picking them up in bunches, continuing the Mountie running attack very well.
The Mounties average 188 yards rushing per game. Allo swings it out far side. Caught. There goes the first reception of the day by a man who doesn't look like a tight end, who is sophomore Stephen Short for his 13th grab of the season. Make it a now 2nd and 2 scenario for the Mounties.
I could tell the RCC crowd is a little worried. They're a little extra quiet right now because they do notice the Mounties driving in rhythm right now.
2nd and short. Tigers crowd the line. There is a penalty flag down on the field. Christopher Gilchrist, following the false start, making a 5-yard setback. Christopher Gilchrist, the sophomore receiver who leads the Mounties in receptions, is 2nd in yards, and also has 5 touchdowns. He had a combined 7 receptions for 140 yards in the meeting against the Tigers last time, yet has 0 catches thus far. It's been a phenomenal cornerback effort for the Tigers today.
Like you said, thus far 0 catches, but let's watch the fade to the end zone. Let's see if they attempt it.
This may be another false start by the Mounties as they took the snap, but the penalty flags fly. Ray Ford has been against Christopher Gilchrist today. They've gone his way once, and it's been no good for that. After 10 yards worth of false start penalties, the Mounties will face a 2nd down and now 13 and will be bumped out of the red zone.
And I would say they are bumped out of field goal position here.
As the Mounties kicker Alberto Villarreal only has kicked a 42-yard long, and they've only had him attempt 15 different field goals this year, and they've gone for numerous 4th downs. Have the Mount SAC Mounties. They trust that offense, which ranks 7th statistically in the state of California. 2nd and 13 from the 23 of Riverside. Back to throw. Allo looking long. Chucks it over the middle. Has Derek Macon inside the 10. Wiggles to the 5. Dives for the end zone, and he's got it for a Mountie touchdown. A 23-yard score for the most dangerous receiver in California, Derek Macon. Make it the 11th touchdown for the Mountie receiver this season. 6-0 with the extra point pending.
The El Camino transfer, Darren Macon, wide open down the middle, breaks a tackle, and then just leans forward, falls forward into the end zone. 6-0, 9:13 left in this first half now.
Well, it wasn't easy, but with the extra point, the Mounties traveled 80 yards down the field, and what really cost the Tigers an opportunity to switch the game defensively was that punt that landed inside the 1 that they called to the 20. And what do you know? The Mounties took advantage on a 12-play, 80-yard scoring drive capped off by a Derek Macon's catch. But you can't exactly blame that officiating crew when the Mounties were 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on the drive.
You really can't blame the officials. You got to blame yourself. Mount SAC was shooting themselves in the foot. 2 straight false starts, backed up on 3rd and long, and then Allo finding his Derek Macon down the middle. Hey, it was just poor execution on the defense.
Well, that's been a first. The Tigers on the last 5 drives stifled the Mounties short of even the 40-yard line, and now Mount SAC enjoys their first lead of the game. Alberto Villarreal boots it deep down the field as Tremel Davis will back up to take in his own end zone. Out to the 5. This may be horrible for the Tigers, and is, as he'll be spun out of bounds inside his own 15-yard line. Davis returns to the 14. And Riverside, well, it hasn't been good when they trail. They've trailed at 3 times in the half this season, and one of which was the Grossmont game. Meanwhile, for Mount SAC, Meanwhile, for Riverside, they have scored first and all but 2 times this season. One of those times was against Mount SAC, and they're not used to trailing early.
They really aren't, and it's not the best team when they're trailing. Although, when they have, it seems like they do come back because of the defensive play.
The defense just gave up an 80-yard score the last time. Anderson flanks in motion, going to Whitney. He's got it, but a bone-jarring collision off the slant route made by Sidavani Tama Avena. Whitney will catch only the second reception here against the Mounties this year, and that'll go for 4.
Hey, that quick slant in the previous game was not available here. It is, it seems.
Only the second catch by a wide receiver for the Tigers this half, as Christopher Anderson's run is blown up behind the line of scrimmage as the tackle is made for the Mounties by Aaron Simpson. 3rd and 5. They need the 30 to move the chains.
The Mountie defense is playing ultra competitive tonight, playing extra physical. That last tackle there on Christopher Anderson, it looked like he took a hard one.
3rd and 5. The Tigers have been 0 for 5 on 3rd downs tonight. They need to convert this. 2 wide set. Back to throw. King looking left. Still looking. Steps underneath. Fires on the run, but too low. Intended for a wide open Isaac Whitney. He would have had his Tiger first down, but instead Riverside has to punt again. Riverside with only 2 first downs on 6 offensive possessions. This has been frustrating for a Tiger team that prides themselves on converting makeable 3rd downs.
The Mountie defense is just giving Nicholas King different looks. The previous play, the defensive line just twisting and stunting.
Zamora with a high kick but short will bounce into enemy territory and will roll as Ryan Rivara will down it at the 39-yard line of Mount SAC. That's where the Tigers will go back to work on defense. Zamora just a 35-yard boot. And really, if you're Riverside, you wish that the offense would have given you a little bit more of a breather there following the long drive for a score last time by the Mounties.
It's going to come down to who's more fresh in the 4th quarter, it seems. With a game like this, the way it's going, back and forth, the Riverside defense pretty much took a 2-minute break, and out they are again.
Well, here comes the Mounties' own Justin Allo, the sophomore out of Carson High School, will give on a delay to Omar's Tolbert, and he's loose across the 45 and wiggles his way to midfield, making a 10-yard pickup and a first down for the Mounties.
The running game is now starting to work for the Mounties. Expect the play action to come soon.
Riverside has won the last 2 games against Mount SAC. Their last time they lost was all the way back in 2012. And that was a game where the Tigers would love to forget about, losing 25-0. They currently trail 7-0, 7:32 to go in the Southern California Championship game as Ryan Simpson on an end-around fumbles the football, ends up losing 3 perhaps. Whether the referees call it an incomplete pass or not is a different story, but the Mounties continue to drive down the football field after another first down, make it a loss of 2 on that Ryan Simpson fumble.
Imagine where the Mounties would be if they didn't keep creating mistakes on themselves.
Right.
It's a team that probably would be up 14+ to 0.
It's the same argument last time the Tigers did win. That offense turned it over 5 times. Safety creeps up to the line here. The Tigers will rush 4 on a play action. Allo chucks it over the middle, has a wide open Ryan Simpson with a pass over the head of the 5'8" target, nearly picked off by Trayvon Watson. 3rd and 12 from their own 48. They need to convert this.
The open receivers are available. It's a matter of hitting them. Justin Allo seems to be overshooting a lot of them.
Well, the Mounties struggled down the stretch with Justin Allo's passing, but were 22 of 39 throwing the football was Allo during the first meeting. Meanwhile, Allo, outside of that, has struggled completing passes this season, only 58 completion percentage. Out of the sack, Allo looking down the field, chucks it over the middle. It's incomplete as Cortland Fort lays the collision. He's down and hurt. We do have a flag on the field, and this may be against the Mounties in the area of holding. Actually, my apologies, an illegal receiver downfield. Make it a 4th down. The Tigers, following the long Mountie touchdown, do force the 3 and out. And in on the punt for the 6th time this half is Christian Fulham.
getting a lot of work tonight. Both
Yeah,
punters
really.
are.
Well, hopefully Nick King will have some work on more than just another